What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark, MarkMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I got an advanced screening of Lavender Men, which is the directorial debut of Lavelle Holder. And my screener didn't have audio description, but I don't know that that's not gonna. I don't know that that's gonna have a problem. I mean, on a grand scale, yes, but this is a film that you absolutely pick up on the vibe of it pretty easily. So click like and subscribe, and we'll talk about Lavender Men and whether or not you should want to watch it. Um, the movie is also stars Roger Q. Mason as Taffeta. He also is a writer on this, and I'm using he as a pronoun for him, even though the film distinctly has a plot point regarding pronoun usage for his character, mainly based on the fact that his IMDb credit summary or whatever lists the story of him using he pronouns, the biography, whatever you want to call that. Uses he pronouns. A lot of times those are written by either the artists themselves or their agents, so I would think they would know the pronoun. So that's where that's coming from. For those of you who have seen Lavender Men and we're like, wait a minute, are you using? That's where I got that from. I do not know Roger. That would be cool if I did though. So I've heard this concept, this theory, this Abraham Lincoln was gay theory, and that scholars have debated, and this is sort of the catalyst for the whole movie, is that we see sort of what is starting off as like a theatrical work based around Abe and good old honest Abe and the relationship that he had with a friend and sort of like an assistant to him, and how maybe that whole thing fleshed out and sort of is told sort of through like a dream sequence for Taffeta. Like we get sort of a brief moment of it on stage with the actors playing them as actors, and then we get sort of a flashback with somebody playing Abe and somebody playing the love interest. What was it, Edwin? Something like that. And Taffeta occasionally gets to play other side characters, including Mary Todd Lincoln as one of the fun characters that he gets to play throughout the story. Just all in sort of like a fever dream sequence. That's like a solid 80% of the film is just in Taffeta's dream state, with a lot of, like, this is my story, this is my dream, I control the narrative. And it's interesting because Taffeta constantly breaks the scene to sort of interject their own feelings on the current state of queer culture and where they fit in, or where they feel like they fit in, and how their own life has led to how they would even react to this, helping these two white men out in their quest for love, as it were. There's sort of like a promise that they would get like a new ending as they sort of enter into this retelling in this dream state. It's very original. It's very bold and exhilarating and fresh, and it's everything that we look for in film. It feels like like a brand new voice is being introduced to us in the same way Court Jefferson was through American Fiction. Like I picked it up on the same vibe. This one will get none of that traction because people will be immediately turned off by the lack of name actors. Sorry, you cast Roger Mason instead of Jeffrey Wright. And then also they'll be turned off by the fact that it's a gay movie, but and also doesn't feature any major actors or directed by Luca Guadagnino. So, that's the reality of it, is that films like this they have a really hard time breaking out of just LGBTQ culture and those people watching their own movies. But God, this is a fabulous movie. I love this. This is so fucking brilliant. From conception to execution to actually getting through it. My only complaint was that if the film went too long without an interjection from Taffeta, I was disappointed, because I loved Mason so much that there were some times where they were just trying to further the characters of Abe, and I'm gonna keep going with Edwin because I think that was right, and their budding love and relationship, or getting them through a scene or whatever, and then Taffeta wouldn't interject with their own thoughts, and I missed that because every time they spoke, it was so real, so raw, it was so exposed, it was so honest, and it wasn't performative. It's like what's happening on the other end, because it sort of grew out of a theatrical production, feels somewhat performative. It's not that the other actors are bad, but it does feel almost like you're stepping into a reenactment. The closest comp that I can actually come up with, this is going to be very weird, but if you've ever seen Adam Ruins Everything, there's a way that when, because Adam kind of comes in as himself into situations, and there are other people that he interacts with that are sort of living out their world for whatever topic he's decided to discuss, and he sort of interacts with them, and then they sort of also go through whatever narrative that they're telling for the episode. So it kind of feels like that. It kind of feels a little bit like that, and the actors also feel a little bit like that. So in that regard, obviously Adam is the draw, but here also Roger ends up being the draw as Taffeta, because they're in that spot as well, leading the film forward, even though the film is technically about this, exploring this relationship. Is it? I think it's as much exploring Taffeta as it is anything else. And at the end of the day, Taffeta is really what is the engaging central focus. If Taffeta wasn't here, I don't know if the film would be as engaging, as smart, as wickedly entertaining as it actually is. So the lack of audio description did prevent me from having some clarity in some moments. It's a lot of dialogue because obviously it's set sort of like it would be a play, but I never know what location we're in. It does have a very limited cast, but there are more than 3 people listed on IMDb in this movie. So would have been nice to have a little bit of clarity into where the other people came in and came in and around these other scenes. But I mean, this is the kind of thing where I'm so high on the movie that I can easily say that this would be a fresh for me on Rotten Tomatoes, like hands down. And I don't really know. I don't know what audio description could reveal to me that would make me not like it. It would just make me like it more. Like I said, my greatest complaint with the movie are moments where I've gone too long without taffeta. Like if it's ever happening, and um, that's what I got. I loved Roger Mason in this so much that uh, I can't imagine like if it went too long. I was like, where can I get an interjection? You know, um, and yeah, it's smart. And this duo here, Roger and Lavelle, because they also both wrote the script. I hope they write more things. I hope this gets traction. I don't know what perspective they'll continue to write things from, but whatever perspective you choose, it's such a bright one. It feels like the first time, it feels like American fiction. It feels like Dear White People. It feels like somebody grabbed the mic and took it and had something to say, and damn, they're gonna say it, out of nowhere. Somebody who had never been given a shot before was given a shot and took it, and I think hit the mark 100%. I stand by this film. This is easily headed to be on my top of the year list. It has a little problematic because last time I did top 28, which is really like a top 30. But I gave two honorable mentions to two films that did not have audio description. Will this be one of them? Possibly. I mean, this could be my People's Joker for the year. This could be a film that I carry with me long enough because of everything I've seen this so far this year. Aside from my weird, deep affection for the parenting, I haven't really seen anything else this year. It really just was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I felt that while watching Lavender Man. I was just like, this one was brilliant. So, yeah, I have nothing but praise and love and light. And I would love to watch the movie again with audio description if it has it. Yeah, I'm putting this out there for the world just to say, I adore this movie. And I hope you will too. Who's it for? It should be for everybody. One of the things people are saying about Sinners they like is the originality behind it and the fact that it feels fresh, that it feels like, in a sea of remakes and reboots and requels and comic book movies and adaptations and all of these other things that we just keep putting out, and the movies just keep feeling the same. Like, yeah, technically they're original, but oh my God, didn't you just see like 3 versions of that last year? Like those movies. In a sea of those movies, it 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 stood out. Like Sinner stood out. Well, this should stand out too. This is big, bold, daring, and original. This is everything that we say we want from film. So, does it matter that it leans LGBTQ? Should that matter to you? Uh, you know, it doesn't. I wish stuff like that didn't. Like I don't go into movies thinking about like, uh, do I personally relate to members of the cast? I could go in and watch a film with a cast that looks nothing like me and come out of it with an understanding of, exactly what it is that film came in to say, and uh, leave with uh, the warmth and understanding of the message while also being fully entertained by the product. And that's what Lavender Men does. So it does not have audio description. It wouldn't be a hard no for me for blind and low vision people if they were really wanting to go through it, because like I said, I think you'll follow it. You will be missing out on a lot. So it's one of those things where I can understand if you wanted to wait to see if it was on a streaming service so that you were already paying for something instead of paying for it specifically on your own. One of those things. I'm still blind. I still have to give you the blind aspect of this. So I can understand if you don't want to rush out to theaters and spend money on a film that does not have audio description. That's an absolutely fair assessment, and a reason why every film should be accessible, and why accessibility needs to permeate to the point where every film is accessible. However, if this just happens to be on your streaming service later on in the year and you don't click on it, just give it a try. I love this movie. I'm giving Lavender Man an A. I don't even usually do that. I like to give films a floating grade of an A minus, but I've beaten myself up since I've seen this before doing the review of, is there anything that I could possibly that the audio description could possibly tell me that would cause me to go, oh man, oh, was that what was happening? Oh, I don't think so. I really don't know what they possibly could have been doing, but because audio description is not like Mystery Science Theater, where they're sitting there and they're talking about like all of the failings in poor cinematography or anything like that. If the camera angles here are weird and shitty and out of focus, I would have no idea, even with audio description. So that's not going to change anything. So still, from my blind perspective, audio description is just going to help flesh out the story and connect the dots. There are still some dots that need to be connected for me to fully embrace and love the film. It's the difference between being number 1 and number 30. You know, like, do you want to be the number 1 film of the year, or do you want to be the number 30 film of the year? So, Lavender Man's going to end up floating towards the bottom because inevitably it's April. So somewhere between now and the end of the year, I'm going to find a film that I'm passionate about that has audio description, or a few films that have that. So it'll just end up sliding down. But right now, man, I have not seen anything else that was this, and I wasn't expecting anything from. I was just like, yeah, I'll scream Lavender Man. Oh my God, this is great. So I love being pleasantly surprised by a film that I had no expectation of, that I have no idea who these cast members are. I couldn't even memorize all of their names to be able to do a review, so I just focused on Roger, truthfully, which is why I haven't mentioned the actors' names for Abe, and I got director and actor memorized. I don't have the ability of looking at paper or holding my phone and looking at IMDb like other people do. I have to memorize names, and I memorized 2 for this: Lavelle Holder and Roger Q. Mason. So, yeah, that's what I got. And check out Lavender Men if it comes to a city near you and you're sighted. Absolutely do it, especially if you're LGBTQ. Fucking go out there, celebrate this movie. If you're blind, I understand not wanting to buy a ticket to it, but if it comes across your pathway in a way in which you could not have to spend money on a film that does not have audio description, I would say at least try. Click on it and see if it's your thing, because we have to celebrate originality. You have to celebrate the big swings, and this is a big swing that worked. By the way, this is not like Megalopolis where you're like, oh God. This does not work. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.